Welcome, everyone, to the third annual TIE DC Capital GovCon 2020. We are excited to launch our three-day virtual conference. I'd like to welcome TIE DC President Manish Malhotra and TIE DC President-elect Sundi Natarajan for opening remarks.
Dear TIE DC community and distinguished guests, welcome to the third annual GovCon 2020. I am Manish Malhotra, President of the TIE DC chapter, GovCon co-chair, and also Chairman and CEO of Unisant Inc., a health, IT, and national security GovCon company.
And I'm Sundi Natarajan, President-elect at TIE DC, also a GovCon 2020 committee member, and co-founder of Sparksoft Corporation, offering health IT for the US federal government. We want to welcome one and all of you to the third edition of GovCon 2020, where the mission is to bring entrepreneurs and innovation in front of the US federal government.
Okay, before we get started, we want to take a moment to remember all the people who have been adversely affected by the current pandemic situation. We are all living in very tough times. So moving forward, let me talk about TIE. And this event, for the most part, I'm very excited to share with you that we have over 400 people who have registered for the event, this GovCon 2020. Now, a number of you are joining us from various US TIE chapters. Obviously, a lot of local folks, welcome. You already know what the GovCon is all about because you've probably seen it in the last 2 years. But for all the folks joining from other US chapters or globally from other countries, you might know about TIE or you might not know about TIE. So let me give you a little bit color on that. TIE stands for the Indus Entrepreneurs. We are actually a global organization, 64 chapters in 14 countries with over 15,000 members all over, right? Now, the actual pillars of TIE as a global organization are mentoring, education, networking, incubation, and investing. So at TIE DC, our local focus is more, of course, around GovCon, given the proximity to the federal government. As Sundi mentioned prior to me speaking, this is our third annual GovCon. So, obviously, each year we are making it better and bigger, and we hope to do that in the coming years as well. Other pillars of focus for us here at TIE DC are TYE, which is more on the education side. TYE stands for the Young Entrepreneurs, where we actually recruit some high school kids every year, and we put them through a leadership boot camp. These kids go through an entire 2 to 3 month coaching process where they, kind of think through an idea about a company, the leadership, the financials, everything around it, and then they compete at the global level with other TIE chapters, teams from other TIE chapters. Another pillar for us here, which is a fairly large focus given the sensitive situation we were in this year, is inclusivity and diversity. Just a few months back, we had an excellent event on inclusivity and diversity, which was attended by many folks around the Beltway. The last pillar of our focus is, of course, investing. We do have a local TIE Angels group. So if any of you, especially people who are attending from the DC area, if you are interested in joining us as an organization, please call upon one of our board members, board of directors, or our executive director, and we'll be happy to give you more information about the TIE local chapter.
Here we are. We have 3 days of action-packed content, speakers, and whatnot. But before that, I wanted to share the story behind how this whole GovCon evolved. This was about 3 years back when we as TIE DC were looking at opportunities in terms of how we can be more relevant to the local ecosystem and entrepreneurs. What struck upon us is here, right in DC, we have a huge fountainhead of opportunities that are evolving under small businesses where trillions and trillions of dollars are being spent every year in government contracting. But guess what? On one side, the Beltway startups are more efficient because they don't really need capital. they create a lot of employment, but guess what? They do have the same failure rates as high as 90% as time evolves. For example, 8 to 10 years later, we see that the numbers are as high as 92-93% of failures. So we said, how can we as TIE DC create value in this ecosystem by helping these small businesses, in a way beltway startups, and make them more relevant? So the first thing that comes to our mind was, are these startups really at the cutting edge of innovative things and technologies that are happening? While Silicon Valley and other areas are the hotbeds for innovation, somehow innovation was lacking within the beltway, and we said, hey, how can we put these two things together? Second, like any startup, all startups require capital, require mentoring, require a lot of help when they are in the early stages. Somehow this was not available in a way where beltway startups can leverage, and we said, can we add this to the pool and make things relevant? And finally, what is really missing was the discovery part, because you may be doing the greatest things, but how do people know about you? How do people even know that such a solution exists? So that's the part of the discovery, and we have pretty much put all these three things into this platform by bringing in the GovCon community all together, where on one end we have pretty much the whole TIE ecosystem players, entrepreneurs, successful businesses from all over the US, and hopefully more from the globally very soon. But we also now bring in the federal government CIOs and CTOs and procurement heads for them to know what's happening around them, and give them an opportunity to interact. And more importantly, this is an ecosystem play, and we as TIE DC wanted to really play in and create the impact that we have to.
Thank you, Sundi. I do want to take this opportunity to thank all the speakers and panelists who are in participation today. As you all know, we have over 50 speakers confirmed, both from industry and government. Thank you so much for accepting our offer to participate and spending countless hours with us in the past few weeks in preparation for this event. A lot of work also went behind the scenes by the GovCon committee. So I do want to call out each and every member of the GovCon committee: Smita Siddhanti, Mahesh Joshi, Pallavi Sabu, Sumit Srivastava, Juhi Nathyani, Raj Patil, Ravi Puli, Rajesh Rai, Prabhakar Murugaya, Shiva Thiruzmazai, Mark Emery. And then finally, I do want to take this opportunity again to thank the entire TIE DC 2020 board for all the hard work that has gone in for the entire year.
Thank you, Manish. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank each and every GovCon committee member on the board for extending support through the year, and also for this GovCon 2020. As all of you know, TIE DC, like any other TIE chapter, is a not-for-profit, not without the support of sponsors and champions that get us going. So in that spirit, I wanted to take some time and thank our main sponsors here. Harmonia Holdings is the platinum sponsor. This is their second consecutive year coming in and offering us this support. Thank you, Harmonia. Then we have Bank of America as our gold sponsor. They are also coming in for the second year and continuing the support for this event. We then have silver sponsor, that is Red Cedar Consultancy. Bronze sponsors, we have Navitas Consulting and Chug. And we have lunch sponsors that include Miracle Systems, Seva Tech, and Inalab. We are trying to do something different here, where each and every attendee here is going to receive a lunch coupon via email that you can enjoy, and thanks to the support of our lunch sponsors. We also have our virtual platform sponsors that includes Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, Dave Law Group, and Aronson. Thank you so much. And we also have a host of logo sponsors who've come in for the third year and sponsored us strong for this event. And we also have our media partners. A special thanks to G2 Exchange for coming in and being us, and it's going to be a long journey for us, and Pratham, of course, as our not-for-profit. Last but not the least, I want to take a few moments to thank RMK, supported by Jennifer Fortney and Reggie Koba. They've been the anchor and the pillar for all the things that you're seeing, not just for this event, but for the whole event. Thank you. Thank you so much, RMK and team, for your support for GovCon and TIDC.
All right, so finally, what can you expect in the next 3 days from GovCon 2020? We have some exciting programming for you. Day one, you're going to learn all about bringing innovation into the Capital Beltway. This day, we're going to cover innovative products, emerging trends and technologies, cybersecurity, all about hybrid cloud, IT modernization, deep and machine learning, AI, AR, and many such topics.
Day two, we have emerging opportunities and trends within the US federal government. So we have a couple of keynotes that are going to highlight what is happening and how agencies are thinking and coming up with a roadmap of what you can expect out of it. We have two great CIOs and CTOs coming in and doing it. We also have a lot of panels where we're bringing in industry experts to talk about trends in each of the agencies, and more importantly, talking about COVID and how the agencies, the marketplace, the contractors are all coping up with COVID. So you have a lot of action on day two.
And the final day, day three, we're going to be focusing on growing and scaling small businesses in the US federal government space. We have a number of speakers on day three from SBA, Small Business Administration. They all bring their unique perspectives, and they all talk about the landscape and opportunities that we can expect going into 2021. In addition to that, we have a number of small business contracting officers, SBLO officers, who are going to be on a panel discussing about, again, opportunities and what you all can look for in terms of going into the next fiscal year, 2021. And then also, we will talk about, we will have a fireside chat with a very successful entrepreneur who had an excellent exit. So you know what to expect if you do have an exit, or if you're close to an exit, what can you expect? Now, in addition to that, we are also bringing you a comedy show on the final day. So stay tuned, do stay back after all the programming is over and enjoy the comedy show. With that, let's go on with the conference.